Welcome back to Who Reads Story. Happy Tuesday. As always, I'm your host, Song Yujin. And today, as Who Read the Story has always done, we are going to explore the latest trends and the hottest content in Korean culture. And to help us dive into today's content, we have a new special guest joining us. He is Alberto. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Hello, my name is Alberto. I'm a Korean content creator, and I'm here to speak about this interesting program. So, welcome, everyone.
Welcome to the show, Alberto, once again.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, and you just mentioned how we are going to talk about a very exciting show today. We're gonna talk about it and introduce it to our viewers. And the show's title is The Devil's Plan, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it. Have you seen The Devil's Plan?
Yes, I watched it because we are going to talk about this show today here on the show. I've heard about it before because it has been quite popular since the first season was released in 2023, and the second season, I heard that the last 3 episodes have just been released at 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's it. So I stayed until very, very night. So it was until 3 p.m., something like that. And I wait a lot to see the season 2 because the season 1 was really interesting.
Right.
But I have to say that the season 2 is even better. So
really?
Yeah, so everyone has to see it. So it's really, really interesting, I think.
Okay, so good news is that all of the 12 episodes of season 2 are now out. So if any of our viewers want to catch or watch The Devil's Plan, the season 2's subtitle is Death Room. So if you want to see it, you can catch it on Netflix. But I think for those who have not tuned into the first or second season of the show, I think it would be best for us to introduce what The Devil's Plan is.
Okay.
So if I may start, I think that it would be safe to say it as a reality competition show, right? Alberto, what do you think?
Yeah, that's it. It's a competition show that everyone, all the contestants, has to use their brains. They have the battle brains also, and they are the betrayers also, and they have to make aliens just to figure out how to make all the games. And after that, there will be only one winner, and that's one of the most interesting things about the show.
And what does the winner get?
He gets money also, and also he had some kind of promotions too. So that's really interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting. So for the first season, there were 12 participants, and I think that for the second season there are 14 participants.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
What's really interesting is that this season there's kind of like a mix of both celebrity competitors and also non-celebrity competitors.
Yeah, that's true.
And Alberto, you mentioned how season 2 is a bit more exciting than season 1. Could you kind of tell us why you felt that way?
Yeah, I felt that way because the season 1 is because it's the new season. I mean, it's the first season, and no one knows about the season, so about the game, how it will be. But now everyone knows, so you have to check specific persons with specific characters and personalities. So you never know who betrayed. You never know who is the person who will be the good one on games or the bad one on games. So that's really interesting. You can find some characters at the beginning, you feel like, no, that's normal. That's a normal person. They don't have something special. But then they do some game, and then it's like a boom, and it's wow. That makes really, really how can I say, involving to the show, and that's really interesting. So
So in short, this is a show where the participants play games in order to choose or determine the brainiest or the smartest, should I say, participant?
Yeah, kind of like that. So it's not only for that. It's because also you have to be a good speaker. You have to convince the others to do the thing that you want to do. So at the end, it's a game. You know, there will be only one winner. But for some games, they have to play together. They have to be together, and that's the thing that is more fascinating, because sometimes you think like, oh, they will be like a group, but for the next game, they betray each other. So they help each other at the beginning, but after that, they betray each other, and it's like, oh, I didn't expect that. So it's like, oh, how can it be possible? But I think it's like a human life, right? So sometimes you trust someone, and after that, he can be a betrayer too. So so it's really interesting because of that. So
Right. And for our episode today, we are also joined by our viewers of the Koreanet channel. Let's see what our viewers have to say. Radha Krishna says, hello, hi. Thank you so much for joining our live streaming today. Hari says, in the first round, Ha Seok-jin is a genius. Oh, this is kind of like a spoiler because
Kind of.
Ha Seok-jin, who is a Korean actor, he is the winner of the first season of this show, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
All right. So we would like to ask our viewers, once again, welcome to the live chat of Who Reads Story. And if you had the chance to join or participate in a show like The Devil's Plan, would you or not? Please leave a comment below telling us your decision. Now, in the meantime, me and Alberto are going to talk a bit more about the show.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So before we move on, Alberto, as I mentioned earlier, in season 2, there are 14 participants. So are there any specific or particular participants that you've grown fond of, or anyone who stays in your mind?
There are different participants. There is maybe for the name, the people will not know the name, but it's the winner of Go, the game Go. Is one of the most important players of Go, and he's really interesting because he's completely like rational person.
Right.
He don't feel like, oh, I have to be involved with this person or with this character or the other character. He doesn't care. He only wants to play the game and do the play well, and that's all. And that's one of my favorite ones. And the other one is, I will not say the name, you will know it if you see the show, and it's what they say, the Red Queen. They say the Red Queen, yeah. Because it's a girl who is always dressing red, and this character, I love it so much, but people don't like her. I think,
Why?
yeah, because it's kind of, do you know in Korean they have the inyeong, like a doll?
Yeah.
And it's a doll face, but no, really.
No.
It's not really a doll face. It's a person who can stab you on the back if she had the chance. And yeah, so that's also amazing. I never thought that this kind of person can be in this kind of shows. So yeah, I think it's hard to see it in Europe or in other countries, this kind of shows. So I think that in Korea are very famous. I think there are other programs like that. But yeah, that makes me more interesting and fascinating. I think so.
And I think that you mentioned a very good point, because in Korea there are a lot of reality or entertainment shows that kind of combine a knowledge, strategy, or kind of quiz solving. Before we started our live broadcast, you mentioned how you were a big fan of the shows The Genius and The Great Escape. So do you feel that Korean content has a very strong, should I say, power in these type of shows? What would you say, Albert?
Yeah, I think so. I think that in other countries, like for example in Spain, they move more like what is it, the Gundam, the emotional programs, but they don't have this kind of games. Like you have to think about it and also get involved with the games, and not like that. I have to say that it's true that the games sometimes they are hard if you don't have the subtitles to understand how they work, the strategies, and this. It can be a little bit hard, but if you have the subtitles, then it's incredible. But I think in Europe you don't have like that. In Korea there are a lot of them.
And good news is that Netflix does provide subtitles in multiple languages.
That's true. If not, it will be really hard, because all the language is really hard. I mean, it's not something that you go to a shop and you buy something. It's not this kind of vocabulary. So you have to think about the strategies and all the planification and the betraying and also the, how can I say it, all the aliens and all these things. Wow, that's really, really hard. If you don't have the subtitles, yeah, maybe it would be hard to understand that.
All right, so far we've kind of gave our viewers a brief overview of the show. So why not, let's talk about what makes this show really attractive, because earlier you mentioned how this show involves strategies and also, should I say, battle of the minds between the characters. So from what I've seen, I think that this show kind of shows elements of backstabbing, but also at the same time people creating alliances of participants. So could you please elaborate a bit more about the show in that aspect?
Yeah, that's true. It's because at the beginning no one knows each other. They only know because maybe they have met once or twice, but that's everything. But after that, when you start feeling the aliens and all the groups and all the teams that they are doing, they are together like 24 hours. Because there are two places. This is not a spoiler. The first season had the same thing. So there is like a kamok.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
the prison area.
The prison area. This is the prison area and the main area. So everyone who wins goes to the main area, and everyone who fails goes to the prison area. And this one, it makes that the people get more touch each other and they want to help each other more. I mean, if you are with another person and you are like 24 hours in the same place, you will get really touched with the other person. So you will trust this person 100%. But after that, on the other game, then this person betrays you. And it's like, oh, I felt that betrayed too. I mean, when I was seeing the show, I honestly saying, it's like sometimes I thought that, oh, this is my favorite character. They say, okay, let's go with him.
Yeah.
But after that, or her, and after that, this person betrays the other one. I say, why I'm like that? Why I feel bad for that person?
You can never expect what will happen in this show,
You will
right?
never expect it. So that's one of the things that it's really interesting. In The Genius, for example, they had that too, but not that much. In this case, I think they put it in another level. I think so. And that's cool.
That's very interesting. But in order to really excel or kind of win in this show, I think that you need to kind of make judgments really, really quickly when you face a certain situation or when you face a certain game. And when I watched this show, I was really surprised by how quick and correct the competitors make their decisions as to when they played the game. Of course, because I think that the staff picked out the best people, the brainiest of the brainiest. But were you also like, wow, surprised by all these, should I say talented or smart characters?
Yeah, of course, because for example, there is an actor this time. It's an American actor, and I didn't know him. It was like, it was completely new for me. But I was like, okay, let's try. Let's see what can I find about him. And he was like, no, he's just an actor and everything. But after that, he played one of the games, and in that game, he was really a genius. And it was like, wow, I didn't expect that. That was how can it be like that? So of course, as you said, it's they picked the persons just to how can I say, like fast thinking and fast doing.
Yeah.
But sometimes they are really faster than I think. So it's like they arrive to some conclusions that I never thought. I'm seeing the game and they say, oh, I will do that, I will do that, I will do that. But after that, you see that only one person from all the participants, they think completely different. Why is he doing like that?
Yeah.
Is she doing like that? It's kind of why? It's not necessary to do this one. But after that, you see the result and
that's why.
That's it. And that's the point, that it's really good. I love that. I really love that. These plot twists are all the time. I really love that. I really, really love that.
Very interesting. So before we move on, we will read a few comments from our viewers. So we asked a couple of questions on our live chat. The first question was, would you join a show like this if you had the chance? Radka Srinas put a thumbs up, which means I think that she is willing to participate. And the second question was, do you think psychology plays a bigger role than logic in this show? And then says, Hadi says, I think there is a big psychological factor. Now, Alberto, as a big fan of this show, do you think that did psychology play a bigger role, or do you think logic played a bigger role, or do you think it's
I think it's psychological more.
Why?
I think, for example, for logical, it's for the games. Logical is for the games, and then you need to play logic if you want to win the games. But if you want to arrive to the persons, you need to know what to say, what this person thinks, what he or she will do, and this kind of things is the most important thing. Sometimes you make an alliance with someone who betrayed another one, and it's because you also want to do something bad to another one. So I know, if I lie to this person, then together maybe we can do something to the other person, because this person is touched with the first one or things like that. So I think the psychological part is really, really important in this kind of games.
I mean, after all, we're all human. We have emotions. We're not robots. So probably that's why psychology could play a bigger role than logic, even in a reality competition show. And the last question we've asked so far and tell our viewers was, why do you think global viewers are drawn to shows like The Devil's Plan? Hadi once again answered, isn't a drama-like character element, and it's not obvious. I think that kind of links to what you mentioned, because one of the biggest features or traits of this show is that it's very unexpected, should I say?
That's it. So you never know what will happen. So every episode is completely different. It's true that they have, in my opinion, it's more about the human being program more than the games. Yeah, because sometimes with the games, it's like, okay, I have the game, this is the game, and the game you have to play like this and like that, and there are winners and there are losers. But it's more than that. I mean, it's more like the human being. So if you are in a position that you have to be eliminated or betray your best friend, what you will do. So you will betray your best friend just to get over the next episode or next round, or you will just keep this friendship until the end, even if you are eliminated. So to all of you guys that you're seeing, if you see the show, I propose you that question. Just what will you do in the same situation? It's really hard.
I think that's what really draws in more viewers, because I think these kind of questions, or should I say dilemmas, that they are things that we actually face and have to make decisions in our real life, right?
Yeah, that's true. So try to imagine that, for example, you find one of your best friends cheating with another person. What will you do? I mean, you will do this, you will say to the person, you will not say. This kind of dilemmas, I think they're really well shown in the show, in all the episodes. So that's one of the things that it makes me really involved in that one.
And what also came into my mind when I read Hari's comment, the drama-like character element, was that although this is a show based on competition and rivalry, I think you also mentioned this too, but we could see elements of teamwork in the show as well, which I think kind of emphasize how we cannot live by ourselves, and we are a society where we are based on togetherness. So what are your thoughts about this element that the show offers?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the teamwork is always important, but it doesn't mean to work with someone, it doesn't mean that you are good in working with someone. Sometimes there will be some different thinkings, or and sometimes if you are a person who are a little bit, how can I say, like, think about yourself first, then it will be hard to make a teamwork with someone. But at the end, you need that team. If you don't have that team, you will not get over the second round or over the next round. And this is one of the things that is really hard. I mean, for example, for me, I'm not that team working person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have to say, but I have to work hard or do something. I prefer to do it by myself. I do everything by myself, and I prepare everything, my strategies, if it's the game and everything. And after that, I would just say, okay, let's go on that way. If I make a mistake, I will do the mistake, but it's not my team who will get involved on that mistake. So that's why I prefer sometimes to work as alone. So if it's a teamwork and I fail, I say a proposal and they say, oh, let's do this one. And this fails, I will feel
really sorry.
Bad. Really, really sorry. And that's one of the things that in the show, and it's very well shown, and it's that sorry when someone did something that it's not good, or they have a problem or something, and then after that they have to just say, I'm sorry to the rest of the team, and if someone is eliminated, it's even worse. So yeah, I think that's really, really hard. I think if I be in that show, I don't know what to do.
I think I cry.
Me too. Sometimes they cry.
I saw the footage.
Sometimes they just cry and they have a very tough moment.
And I think we're getting some more comments from our viewers. Let's read a few of them. Garima Tiwari, that team game turned into solo betrays speedrun. Sarab Sharma says, why always my favorite lose first? That's such a sad question.
That happens a lot.
Right. And Bidake, I hope there is a season where there are foreign participants other than Koreans. I totally agree, because this show has become so global. Maybe if there is a season 3, I think that foreign participants could definitely become a very good addition to the show. Shama Nahi, they fight with brain, but it feels like a boxing match. Because the competition was so intense as the round goes on. Farah Yasmin, this show is chess, not checkers. Parasram Reddy, I swear the editing made me believe one thing, then boom, betray time.
100 times. It's every time. Every time is like that.
Wow.
Every time is
Which
like
makes the show more interesting or exciting, I guess?
I think so. It's because you never know. Like, you see a very how can I say, like, cute face or a pretty face, and say, oh, that person will be just like, how can I, like, the sheep, not the wolf. But then after that, after 2 games, this person is on the line of elimination and becomes a wolf. Like, just he doesn't care to betray anyone, or it doesn't matter. So wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And Niranjana Inita says, Netflix never deal with this one. Abhishek Singh Jamal, not gonna lie, I rewatched the puzzle round 3 times, still don't get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Really, was that a hard episode?
Yeah, I think because maybe some people, they didn't see all the episodes, but there are some episodes that I think the hard part is the understand the games because the games are too, how can I say, like logical.
Yeah, they
So
look
sometimes
quite hard.
Yeah, they are, some of them they are hard. So for example, there is one game, I don't remember the round, it was about the zombie and you have to kill some zombies and also the mummy and different characters. And this one is, I think, is the easiest one. Sometimes there are puzzles that if you count like 3 and then you plus 10 and plus something and oh wait, I have to review again all the instructions because if not it will be completely lost on the game. After that, when you see the game, then it becomes easier. Like with the practice, it becomes easier. But at the beginning, yeah, I think so.
I think that if you binge watch the show, it will be some great exercise for your brain.
Yeah, and also for your Korean language too. That's good. That's good also. Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, Alberto, we are seeing a lot of comments from our viewers, which I think shows how popular this content is, and also K content in general. Because first of all, the first season of Devil's Plan, I remember it debuted at number 3 on the Netflix non-English TV chart, and I think that season 2, as we can see from our viewers' comments, it has garnered quite a lot of views and it is going viral online as well. Then I want to ask you, I think that you'll be able to give us a very fresh perspective on this. What do you think kind of makes Korean content, whether reality shows or K content in general, attractive, should I say, to international viewers? Do you think they're kind of different from content made in other parts of the world? What would you say?
I think so. I think one of the things, despite of the Hallyu, the Korean wave that is everywhere now, but I think it's the personality of the characters. I mean, all the characters, they have this kind of emotion that everyone can be that person. Then, for example, if you see K-drama, so there is this romance, but this romance can happen to someone. It's like, that's what foreigners feel like that. So it's this kind of, how can I say it? I don't know if it's a good thing to say, but it's like the lost romance. So like nowadays we are very connected to SNS and to all these things. So I think the old romance is a little bit lost. So when you see this kind of K-dramas or some songs or also these kind of programs, you see the human being itself. Like, if I love this person, I love until the end. Or if I heard that song arrives me until the end. And that's one of the things that makes the Korean content really, really famous nowadays. Because if it's something that is like normal, for example, the American dramas or American movies, they don't have this point, like extra point of passion or extra point of emotion. And I think this is one of the things that Koreans do very, very, very well. I think so.
I see. Good on that. And I think that you mentioned how Korean content, one of the standout features of Korean content is that it kind of touches on the human emotion or kind of the emotions or kind of the elements we've lost as we're living in a, should I say, highly digital era. And if I could tie that back to the Devil's Plan, we saw a lot of teamwork happening, although we saw a lot of competition in the show. And I think that, especially nowadays when everything is going online and we don't really have a lot of chances to work together in person, I think that that part of Devil's Plan could have touched some emotions of global viewers. Could you agree with that?
I think so. I completely agree. I completely agree. So if you see the one person that gets involved with another one and they spend like 5, 6, 7 days together or through the rounds and they have passed to everything, like sometimes they are happy, sometimes they are sad. They also have these like roller coaster emotions too because the game makes like that. So it's like maybe today your best friend can be eliminated or you can be the eliminated, so you never know. And this one, it makes the persons like getting more involved with the other person. And this one is just like, I mean, life is like that. So life is sometimes on the weekend you wake up sad and you don't know why, and then you need someone next to you, but that's the life. So I think this program makes this part really good. And also the addition of picking or taking the parts that they are more emotional than the games make the games really important, but also the other part, the psychological part or the feeling part, really important.
So I think that what makes this show really interesting is that it provides a mixture of everything. For example, it shows this teamwork spirit. It also has that very thrilling, exciting moment of competition and trying to become the number one. You can also the viewers can also feel like they can participate by playing the games with the players. And you can also ask, what am I gonna do if I were in the shoes of those characters?
Yeah, that's it. I think that's the point. That's the key point. It's like, it's not only the game. It's like you always think, but every time I was thinking all the time, oh, if I was at this team, what would I do? Or who I can, how can I trust for make an alliance? Or who can I do like that? If someone of the persons that I'm involved with, some of the characters, if I get betrayed with that, wow, I think I will cry too.
Yeah, totally.
I think so. It would be so hard. I mean, it's like sometimes they spend like a lot of hours together, and then you trust that person until the end, and it's like, but after that, after all this trust that you give that person, then he thinks different or he does something that can hurt you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was so hard. But this one, when you're thinking, it's like, oh, if I were at that place, what would I do? If I were at that place, who I can trust? And these things make all the viewers very, very into the show.
Right. Okay, so I think it's pretty much all we have for you today. We helped you explore the Netflix reality competition show, The Devil's Plan. Once again, the last 3 episodes have just been released on Netflix, so if you didn't have time to watch it, you can catch it on the platform. So Alberto, how was the show today?
It was really interesting. It was my first time here, so I was really, really happy to stay here, and I enjoyed it a lot. I've been very comfortable, so yeah, thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you for our viewers for tuning in and leaving all those comments. Next time, hopefully we could read more comments from you guys. And I personally hope that we could see more Korean content that could really resonate with a lot of global viewers around the world. Once again, thank you for tuning in to the 5th episode of Who Reads Story. I was your host, Song Yujin, and we were joined by Alberto today. You were a fantastic guest.
Thank you very much.
And we will see you next week, next Tuesday. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.